Good morning, everybody. Orange A here with another War of the Visions video, and I have a little bit of an issue. And that issue is this. When I first saw Ashen King Mont in the game, I was like, this guy looks like a great sword user. He's got a big sword and he's not holding anything else. He's a great sword user. And my mind just kind of defaulted there. Then it took me about 1 second today when I realized, oh, he's coming out. I need to look at him. He's Sword Knight. And not only is he Sword Knight, I play Sword Knight. It's my main thing on my account, and he does a lot. Like, this is a modern DPS unit in every sense of the word. He's going to be up there in power, in my opinion, with your A2s of the world. He's somebody who could take my Squall teams to kind of that next level, allow me to keep playing my favorite dude, Squall. The problem is I have 22,760 Visior. Now, my budget is not spent. I have Amazon coins, but I was saving those for Advent Children. And with how good Ashen King Mont right here looks, I might have to just get this man kind of no matter what. So let's talk about him. Let's do our preview. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Now, here's his weapon. You are going to get a chance to go get this new sword. It's really good. It's 173 attack if you build the attack version. It's only 138 if you build the 25 crit version. It's going to give all earth units that use it, and you can see the jobs that use it right here. Elemental resist 5%, which is kind of interesting, and reaction block rate 30. It gives everybody who uses it slash attack resistance pin 20. So I like this sword a lot. It's not like game breaking or anything, but just keep in mind that you're going to have access to these stats if you're playing Ashen King Mont and you farm this sword, or any other, user of this that you see on the screen right here. Now, our actual guy, Ashen King Mont himself, let's zoom it in a little bit, get a little bit better look. Let's start with the obvious thing, 100 cost unit in that Warrior of the Crystals banners that we're getting right now, where you're probably gonna have to pity him, like just assume pity. And so we'll go through the banners on Wednesday like we always do, but I expect it to be, do the step ups that are there, then just hit the regular banner and look for that pity. Gosh dang it. You can tell it's like eating me up that I might have to drop, upwards of 40k viz to keep my Sword Knight team relevant. But look, there it is. Sword Knight right there. I mean, that's gosh dang it, that's kind of all I need to know. I think I have to get him. I think I just have to. Anyway, his TMR really good. Now, it lacks agility, so it doesn't have agility, and it's an armor, which makes it kind of weird. But look what it does. It's a self buff with 2 uses: human killer with physical 25, AoE resist 20, and all that's for 4 turns, and strike resist for 4 turns. You want to talk about a top tier TMR buff? There it is. And this guy right here doesn't care about it not having access to like AP auto restore for 2 reasons. One, Win Veritas TMR is kind of everywhere, so AP auto restore ain't what it used to be. And he can give himself AP auto restore in his kit. His master ability, he's got the Earth group buff. Okay, obviously. Here's 20 more slash attack resist pins. So if we're counting, there's 20 from here, 20 from here, he's at 40. He gets 10 AoE resist right here. That's really nice. And increase the chance to apply silence by 25 if he has AP restore. This is a big deal. Obviously, with this, he's gonna have a silencing skill in his kit somewhere, and we'll see that. And he's somebody who like buffs himself into being naturally good against physical damage dealers. So if he can drop silence on some mages, it'll make him good against everybody, and he's gonna be good against everybody. Okay, his dream ability is debuff effect weakening, reaction block rate 30, critical evade 15, and an upgrade to one of his skills. It's a little less overwhelming than his regular master ability, but you get both. Okay, let's look at his stats. One stat really stuck out to me here. First of all, his resistances, good against slash, a little bit weak against pierce, good against strike, neutral against missile, and good against magic. So a really nice damage resistance spread right there. He has 70 agility, so he's a speedy boy, but 5787 HP, 592 attack. He's a bruiser in a modern bruiser, and he's going to do all of the bruising. If we look at his element or his status effect resist, stun, poison, blind. Stun, very relevant in the game right now with Vivi out here still dropping his stun bombs, so keep that in mind if you're playing against Mont or you're playing with Mont against a Vivi. Now, support abilities. Honestly, his support and counter abilities are a little bit of a weakness. Like, his kit does so much, but if I was trying to poke any holes in him, I would say it's his support abilities and counter abilities. Here they are. So power to reach the top, this one's badass. Like, this one is everything you need. 24%, 40 defense pin, putting him at 40 defense pin and 40 slash attack resist pin, and then HP recovery when he drops below 50%. So this one's not the weakness. The weakness is, what's the second one that you run? You could just do Secret of the Nightblade, which will give you more attack, a little bit of accuracy while dropping your evade. Who cares about the evade drop? You ain't dodging anyway. You could go for HP and more debuff effect weakening. Okay. You can go for accuracy and continuous attack counter upgrade, or, you know, HP and attack. It's really rough once you get down here. I think most people will go power to reach the top, Secret of the Nightblade. One thing I do want to mention, having access to this Greatsword sub job does make him a potential user of triple hit Greatsword vision cards if you're going for like guild raids, high scores, or something like that. Okay. So yeah, anyway, really good one here. You know, pretty decent one here, and then bad. So yeah, maybe a little bit of a weakness, but not a huge one. Counter abilities. Okay, his new counter ability is a 30% chance, 121% damage, decent range for a counter ability on it of 3 with a 35% chance to inflict sleep. So you could cheese somebody right here. You live through their attack, you counterattack, you put them to sleep. Maybe that wins you a fight. Otherwise, I mean, that's the one you're gonna run. So this is definitely the weakest part of his kit, is his counter move, in my opinion. Okay, his scaling. He scales off of attack, dex, agility, and luck. His main job cheat move, Tada Sokuken, yeah, it's going to be translated differently probably, has 5 uses, only costs 14 AP, and restores CT to himself. Could be useful in like a late fight. His TP moves, oh my god, these do a lot of things. Life of Charity, so 200% chance to ignore fatal damage. This will give him courage, and it gives AP auto restore, aka Bell's effect right there, and it gives defense penetration 30, you know, when he has those buffs online. So that's 30 plus his original 40. He's at 70 defense pin with this buff active. It is a 4-turn buff, which is starting to just become the norm for these new really powerful units, I feel like. Okay, Ashen King's Edict, which upgrades to Mont's Wish. This one is whoa good. First of all, he moves to his team. It is a group buff, reduces physical damage taken 50% 4 times for self. Awesome. Then look at this. He gets that like damage based, you know, damage reduction field that like Squall and them have, but he gives it to his allies. So reduce physical damage taken and magic damage taken. Larger area attack size 15 up to 35% for allies. He gives that to his group and himself. Okay, so that means, let's say you're running him with a Squall who can give this to himself. You can put Mont and another unit together, let him buff that, let Squall buff his own version of that, and now your whole team has this sort of like damage reduction aura around them that's kind of insane. Then, by the way, he also gives 25 single target resist to him and his allies. So, you know, that's a thing too. Like, the amount of damage reduction right here is insane between all of these buffs. Then he also, because it's, you know, that's not enough, he also grants a following upon hit for himself, seals barrier destruction for 3 turns. So he turns off barrier destruction, because why the hell not? Okay, now, how about attacks? He's got some good ones of those too. First of all, this one, 165% modifier, but if the target you're hitting has haste, which is all over the game right now, that modifier goes up by 80% to 245%, making it like extra large damage. It has good range on it, hits in a small AoE. Boom. That's going to just tee off on people. Oh, by the way, it also dispels the haste and dispels follow-up attacks for the targets too. Nice. Okay, double silence, double attack. This one gets upgraded, so let's look at the upgraded version. It's a single target attack that hits 2 targets, and it hits them twice, so it chains. Decreases our single target resist by 60, increases his slash attack resist pin by 30, putting him at that 70 mark that he's at with defense pin. So maybe if I'm poking holes, here, maybe this is another potential weakness of Ashen King Mont. By himself, it feels like he can get to about 70 defense pin and 70 slash attack pin, but both of those numbers require him to either to cast an ability. So that's something, right? It's something, I guess. Okay, it's a 200% modifier attack, and this is the one that can silence. When the enemy target is killed, automatically casts CT increase when the enemy's killed, so he'll CT up himself if he kills somebody with this. This is also the anti-mage move that can silence, so pretty OP move right there. Overall, does a lot of things. Then he has Phantom of the Twin Flames, which upgrades. It's another 2-target, single-target selector. This one breaks physical barriers, decreases debuff effect weakening by 50 just for this cast. So it also debuff effect weakening down 50 for this cast. Makes the enemy worse at debuffing you. Okay, 200% modifier, both boosted hit chance and decreases their healing power. Don't sleep on how important decreased healing power is. Like, decreased healing power is a big deal. Okay, Gray King. If you run his new sub job, you get access to AP restore when you kill somebody with an attack. This one's sort of, it's cheap. I guess that's the draw of this one. It's only 18 AP, so I can see the AI, going for it when you drop under 20 AP or something. And then he has Ash Dark Sword, which can inflict blind and hits in that weird, like, cross AoE. So a pretty weak Gray King sub job right there, I think. Nightblade sub job, you would run this if you wanted access to more defense pin with an agility and attack steroid for your group, but I don't think there's any world really where you would cast this over his 2 buffs in his main job. And how often are you going to get past 2 buffs? And if you do with Mont, you probably want him using his TMR for the other one. So I don't think people will run Nightblade very much, but it is still an important job because it gives you access to a great sword job, which gives you access to triple hit vision cards if you need that later. Pugilist, this will obviously give you access to striking damage, and that's why I think people will run this on him for his sub job, to give you just access to that striking type damage. Okay, here's your unlockable skills. Let's talk about the limit break. It is once again a single target, 2-target selecting move. He's got a bajillion of those. This one drops single target resist 20 for the target, gives him a follow-up attack for 3 turns that does 86% modifier and has, gigantoid range, 240% mod. It is typeless earth, so it is not a slashing attack. It'll only be checked by your single target resist and your defense. It also grants, and barriers, it also grants haste for him when he drops it. So this will give him haste. It knocks single target resist down, gives him a follow-up attack, does a bunch of damage. Right, like, this dude does a ton of things, and I think he's going to do a ton of work for accounts, and I'm just sitting here talking myself into pulling for him. So I will end up probably spending some of my Final Fantasy VII Advent Children budget. I have that set aside, right? And I can't go over that. So at least I get to build my Tifa. I'll go for Cloud. I haven't really looked at, I can't remember his name, the bad guy yet. He's out in JP. I'll cover him on this channel before that comes out too. And then you got Sephiroth. Oh my gosh. My money. Okay, anyway, that's Ashen King Mont. I think you guys will, I think people who pull him are going to enjoy him, especially if you're a Sword Knight player. He feels hard to pass up. Okay, thank y'all for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.